APC member, what do you make of all this? Because it doesn't look like it's doing the party many favors.
Yeah, precisely. Thanks for having me this morning on Kakaki. The APC storm in a teacup is becoming a bit one joke taken too far, because what is happening in Kalu is a farcical play, completely a comedy of errors, and people are being entertained in a very rude way. So it is coming from the comic to the grotesque, a situation in which within 10 days, you are having 3 different people laying claim to one office as if there is no organized structure of the party. There was a Congress in July of 2022 or 2020.
I think it's 2021.
2021,
yeah.
July 31 or thereabout, in which the world congresses took place, the local government congresses took place, and then the state congresses, and then we graduated to the national convention. So there is a list of every ward in this country in the National Secretariat. So it is settled that all you need is for the secretary or the organizing secretary to bring out the list and show the world. Mm-hmm. And each member has a slip that carries his picture. There are only 27 of them. Every ward in APC has 27 members. Each polling unit has 10 executive members. The wards have 27 members. What does it take to take a full-page advertorial and show who emerged? And
At
the national chairman is from that area. Even if it happened in any other place, it behoves the organizing secretary, the publicity secretary, the organized party to bring out the list with the pictures so that we compare it to what we are seeing on TV. So that Nigeria is facing too many crises for us to turn around and start making APC ward executive because people want to position themselves for power. You are taking Nigerians for granted.
Now, these people that were part of that were validly elected, as has been said in July 2021, are the people that have come up with the recent.
The ones who came to the National Secretariat.
Yes.
Okay. Because if they are not, they won't even enter that Secretariat. If they are not, they won't come to the Secretariat. Notwithstanding the fact that it's the national chairman that's involved. You won't come there because the list is there for everybody to see. They have brought it out. So when people now start dramatizing it and say, oh, there is another executive in mind, so you are agreeing now that the other ones are all fake. So you have accepted that they are fake. So who authenticates, who identifies the party executive?
So indeed, the issue of impersonation, as mentioned, is
clearly established.
It's clearly established.
Because we have the footages. They are courageous enough to come on camera and on video. So all you need is to play it and establish a case and jail those people.
Okay, let's look at the legal underbelly here, Maxwell. I mean, the question we asked earlier when we did our introduction was whether a federal high court can set aside an order of state high court in this matter.
Because that's against the idea that the initial suspension was announced by Halima Gwazo, the legal advisor of the ward, on April 15th. Then on April 17th, the Kano State affirmed Ganduje's suspension. Then we had 24 hours later, the Federal High Court ordered that the suspension be halted. So that's where the legal business comes in.
I want to start by saying that the problem we are having in Nigeria now is some persons in the judiciary. I mean, some judges in the judiciary. Because essence of judiciary is a corrective measure an error committed by the parliament or the executive. The judiciary is there to correct it. But now, the judiciary has turned to be a very big problem we are having in Nigeria now. Not all, I mean some.
Okay.
Now, what do I mean? I don't want to go into politics of Nigeria. Everybody knows that we don't have politicians in Nigeria. Their interest is themselves. And I want to tell you that before any politician will commit any error or any atrocity, he has already a judge that will perfect it. What do I mean? Now, we are in this country when the immediate past president used an inferior court to remove CJN. Inferior tribunal, not even court, to remove CJN. When the matter gets to court, what happened? Till tomorrow. Now, somebody Honorable Plate is talking about the list of authentic Exco member of Ganduje ward. How will you see the list? Is it not before the court? Now, somebody approach you, a court, on Monday, that you should perfect their illegality by removing the national chairman. A power that you don't have a right to exercise under the APC constitution. Now, the person approach you with a motion ex parte. What is the motion ex parte? A motion ex parte, the purpose of establishing a motion ex parte is to stop something from being damaged. What do I mean? Somebody approached FCDA that FCDA should go and demolish your house. And you got that information on Friday that they will be coming to demolish your house on Monday. The law said you rush to court with motion ex parte, asking court, please stop development control from demolishing the house. Because if I did not approach court, they will demolish my house. And look at my papers. It's not automatic. For you to convince court, you must show the court that they are coming to demolish the house, and you have a paper. And the law said court will now restrain them. We call it interim. And ask you to do what? To put them on notice. You cannot file a motion ex parte in court without filing motion on notice to put the other people on notice. And if the court look at, there is no urgency there, you are not going to suffer anything if you put those people on notice. The court will ask you, go and put them on notice and come back within 48 hours. If the judge cannot give you 7 days, come back within 48 hours. The question you now ask yourself is that, what is the urgency in removing or restraining Ganduje without hearing from him? Because that motion ex parte operates, though constitutionally, but it operates against the principle of fair hearing. You are only going to be heard alone. And why you are hearing alone is that at that particular time, you cannot put the other person on notice. Or if on the process of putting the other person on notice, something will damage. Tell me what will damage if the judge asks the people to put Ganduje on notice, for Ganduje to come and tell the court the reason why I will not restrain you from parading yourself as a member and as a chairman of APC. Now, the court did not do it. That is where NJC should investigate. If he should ask me, the judge granted that order based on his own personal interest. It may be financial, it may be anything. I stand to be challenged because I'm a lawyer, not only a lawyer, practice law. I have approached court on several occasions with motion ex parte, something that has to do with the demolition of my client's house. And they will ask you, Maxwell, go and put them on notice. The only thing the only help I will give you, come back within 48 hours. You mobilize look at, if you can serve Ganduje through text message, through WhatsApp. The New Evidence Act allow that. Then on what premise that you gave that particular order? Then comment on the conflicting order. Then Ganduje now went to court, telling court that these people did not give me fair hearing. Look at the position. Look at. Now, court also,
that's to the Federal High Court.
To the Federal High Court.
Okay.
It's a court of coordinate jurisdiction. Federal High Court, National Industrial Court, State High Court, and the City High Court, they are in the same level. Now, the court now, without making reference to that particular, because he did not set aside that judgment, without making reference to that, he just said that all parties should maintain status quo. Effect from 15th of April. That is before that particular, pending the determination of the First of Fundamental Rights. Now, these are the two orders before APC. If you're APC, what will you do? You choose
let's ask Honorable. What do you do?
You choose the one.
The latest in time prevails. That is a principle.
No, sir.
Or the first in time prevails. But in the case where there are two courts of coordinate jurisdiction, it means you are not violating any court order. You take the one that you went for, because there are court and these are all equal. So that is what APC has done, and that is why Ganduje is sitting in office. But for me, this is neither here nor there. It is that the politics and our democracy is being undermined, grossly undermined. The very foundations of our is the rule of law. That's what makes it a democracy. Take away the rule of law, we are back to another form of tyranny, tyrannical rule or military rule. The only reason why we have a democracy is because you obey the law and your own rules. So where parties can't even obey their own constitutions, look at Article 21 of APC Constitution. It is very clear. The very first sentence on Article 21, sub 1, is that you must grant fair hearing. That's the first thing, the foundation upon which that section on discipline rests. Any other thing you are doing without fair hearing does not even exist. That you even go to court without exhausting the internal mechanism of the party under that same Article 21 already expels you from the party before you start fighting whether you are a party member or not. That you went to court without exhausting the... So if at any time the executive of that ward, assuming without considering that they are even the original and authentic executive, ought first to get a complaint, not even themselves originating. If they originate it, they cease of the jurisdiction of even trying Ganduje or suspending him. They have to go to the local government. Now, I'm making this point not to say that Ganduje is right or Ganduje is wrong or whatever. This is not where we are. Where we are is that the level of illegality and the brigandage that is in which within 10 days you are having 3 sets of executives is a height of indiscipline.
And what we find, what's really so worrisome is that I guess it's because we're dealing with the All Progressives Congress national chairman. It's funny that all this is just happening within one ward.
Precisely.
A lot of people are baffled.
And then, because the interest there's a subterfuge. You are seeing a smoke screen. So a masquerade is dancing that nobody wants to see where it is coming from. And that is where the national executive of the party, the government itself, the government of APC at the national level, and everybody must intervene and stop this. It happened to Oshiomhole, and we thought that was the end. In fact, there's an amendment to the APC constitution in which you cannot, after the Oshiomhole experience, there's an amendment to the constitution which makes it impossible for a ward to discipline a national officer.
All right, I did ask Maxwell a question earlier, and I think you answered the sub of that question, and I think I would love you to go back to it, because for the sake of clarification, can the federal high court overrule the state high court's ruling? I mean, when you look at that, what is it for us to determine in those cases?
I said no. They are court of coordinate jurisdiction. The decision of federal high court or FCT high court or state high court is not binding on the other, because they are in the same cadre. Now, the point we are making, which I want Nigerians to understand, is that we are talking about this thing because court is involved. Had it been that they just make that declaration that we subscribe to Ganduje, nobody will take them serious. The party will say, come on, get out. Whom do you suspend? When you suspend, come to the national. But why is now an issue? Because there is a subsisting court order. That is where, because had it been that Ganduje did not rush to court, no matter how stupid a court order is, you must obey it. Just what is happening in Kogi State. Somebody just approach you with a motion expertise. Please stop these people from investigating my criminal activities. A judge, properly sworn in, granted that order. You did not say, oh yeah, don't worry. Just go and put EFCC on notice. Try to get somewhere until 48 hours. So let's EFCC come and tell us the reason why you just granted the order that he should not be investigated. That particular judge, and this thing now is that nobody is being punished for all these things. You talk about that of Oshiomhole, you talk about this one. Nobody's being punished.
When you say nobody, you're referring to the judges.
Yes, now, because when you commit something and you are penalized, this thing that happened in Kano is because people are laughing. This thing can generate something, can turn something. We are talking about Kano. As volatile as Kano is, you are issuing court order as if you are dishing out a coupon. Court order is a very serious order. You don't give order because you have the power to give order. You give order so that it will be obeyed. Now you have given that order that Ganduje should be restrained, and you want that Ganduje to fold his hand. Ganduje now left Kano High Court because if you should ask me, almost all the whole High Court judges in various courts, they take instruction from the governor. It's only few of them that will tell you that to go to hell. It's only a few of them. So if you watch where all this court order, we have it in that of I think Obaseki, where Obaseki got his own in Edo. The other person now went to what do you call it, Port Harcourt, to got his own. We saw it in Abia State. Now we are seeing it in Kano. Why should you allow a politician to mess you up? A judge, how much are they giving you? What interest are you protesting? That somebody should ask you to give an order to stop him from being investigated. Give an order to set aside, to stop a national chairman of a ruling party from being parading himself. Do you know what it will take the party? Because if, had it been that the Federal High Court did not give that order, asking that, by now, APC will not have a national chairman. It now requires them to have what we call an emergency NWC to get somebody to replace him. You don't do that kind of thing. So this is where NJC should come in. Because some judges are causing trouble. All these things, you can see now as somebody will now tell you that we are going to stop Kakaki from they won't operate today. You think that is joking? You may go to upper area court or go to customary court. Before you could know it, they will serve the director. And they will stop operating. And before you could know it, somebody's business will be at stake. And everybody's keeping quiet. All these judges should be penalized. We should call them out so that they will say, they will know that, yes, once you are a judge, you are, in fact, a judge under Section 6 of the Constitution has the power to do a lot of things. So that's why when they are being sworn in, they send them to NJI for them to be trained. Not to when somebody bring an application to turn somebody from a man to a woman, you just granted it.
So, does that mean now we just have two subsisting orders?
Yeah, APC have decided to want, because there are two now. I hear them saying they decide they want.
So I guess the onus now is on the party.
They have taken one. They have taken one and ignored one.
You've taken one, but don't you think you're probably not being vocal enough about the one that you've taken, which is probably giving the room?
The Federal High Court one. That's why.
The federal. First of all, the lawyers will tell you that action of yesterday by that other gang of
that one,
those people making that second pronouncement and saying that they are the authentic and they are making all kinds of claims are already in contempt of the Federal High Court.
Contempt of court.
Like he said, because there is no repercussion.
And we hear that it's his nephew that's
absolutely
not a family man, if you ask me, really.
Yeah. The lawyer to Ganduje should approach that court from 48 now, because the court made an order. Your agent, everybody whatsoever, nobody should do anything because the matter is in court. So if you say that you are not aware of that particular order, ignorance of the law is not an excuse now. You should go in for it.
Precisely where we are. That is why I'm saying that the technicalities and the details of this, for me, melts off when it is put against the national interest. Politicians must know that this democracy was not just gotten from the shelf. People paid with their paid prices. People died to bring us to this point. So if they don't respect it, some of us who participated in that struggle are pained by it. And that is what makes us come here to discuss it, not individuals.
All right, let me come in here, Honorable Claytis, because I hear you loud and clear about the nationalist interest. But I'm sure that you followed, even Labour Party was in the news for, this kind of case. Last week, Monday, the party passed a vote of confidence on their chairman, even though he was suspended in Ward 3 in Edo State. And a case of impersonation also came up, back and forth. But, the party as a whole came out to say, we are still with the chairman. He's still our chairman. And, all of these distractions are from, meddlesome interlopers. How does this work in the Ganduje's case? He comes out to say, the presidency is with me, I'm still the chairman, and there are no, rabble-rousers. But this is both a legal case as much as it's an internal party case. So how does the party come out to stand? Are they standing with Ganduje at this time, or are they leaving him to be able to face the law and then, have the outcomes played out?
As you can see, most of the time in communication, you are a communication person, sometimes not communicating is communication on its own. To glorify the inglorious actions of those words, if you listen to them, even to read the papers that are given to them, it's a problem. They can barely pronounce even the words on the letter. So when you engage in this type of tragic or tragicomic displays, you expect a party that is facing governance issues of security, of economy, to come and start answering to that. I mean, it will be the glorification of the inglorious. And therefore, the party has decided that the chairman should be going to his job. I faced it as an opposition in Cross River where my members were sponsored against me. What do I normally do? We have suspended the state chairman. I'll go to the state radio using the NBC and tell them, announce, instead of sending my publicity secretary, I will announce it myself. I said, the entire executive of the party are going to meet, not in Calabar, so that you don't come there and misbehave. I said, we are going to the next local government that we are going to meet there. And I signed as state chairman. That is a statement on its own, which is what Ganduje did by coming out to say, the president is with me. So let any member of the Exco challenge him and say, the president is not with you. Nobody has said anything because it doesn't add up anything. Because what it amounts to is that you'll be diverting attention, and this distraction when we have an election in Ondo. Remember that the day that thing came out was when they were to inaugurate the committee that was to go to Ondo to do the primaries. That was the day that issue came out. So what that would have meant is that the time for the primaries would have passed while we had been distracted with the issue of whether he's national chairman or not. So
But,
what
sorry,
was ignored.
Max, you mentioned something about the need for clarity. Honourable, you're saying that maybe silence is probably the best way so that we don't end up glorifying this issue and then getting distracted. I mean, which one do we choose? Silence or clarity? Because you've talked about the volatility of a place like Kano, and I think really the people really need to understand, I mean, what's really going on.
That's the platform created by that communication through Kakaki, educating all those boys that they are just, I don't know who is using them. Even, in fact, the person who is using them is not even intelligent. Because if you want to cause trouble, you can cause it in line with the law. So that one is on that. Then on the issue of the president keeping quiet, I don't understand what do you mean by keeping quiet. Because he's the leader of the party.
The Exco.
Now I'm talking about the leader of the party, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You should be able to address the world. Because when you are talking about a ruling party, directly or indirectly, APC is ruling. So, and once there is a problem in APC, it may affect the governance. If you watch now, in Kano now, if you ask the security agents, the commissioner of police and the security agents there, they must have fortified considering the fact that this may be a fallout. So the president should be able to caution all those people. Silence in law means admission. If, for the fact that the president is not talking, which means he's in support of all those people. And if...
silence means consent.
Yes, now, if Dr. Ganduje is hearing me, you should be very careful with their president. Maybe he want you out. Because the president should be able to call the local government, call all those people. You said that to a member of APC, said yes. Who is the leader of APC? Am I the one? I want to see all of you people in Abuja. You address them, where the media will come and cover. And they said that the father of the party have spoken and everybody should go. But when you are keeping quiet on what? What are you keeping quiet? Is it the same issue Maxwell raised when you appropriate 1.5 billion naira to your wife in the office of the first lady? You are not talking anything. This one now concerns you. Why are you keeping quiet? Because when you are keeping quiet, and those people now, maybe, if you go to Kano now, they will be telling you that they are working under the instruction of the president. They may be saying it, because Nigerians are good in dropping names. So this is the high time you now tell them that enough of all these things. The Kano governor, are you them saying, if your hand is inside this thing, please remove hand. A lot of issues. We are hearing a lot of things. We learned that you and Kwakwa, so they said that you want to come into APC, but you want to first of all get rid of a lot of issues. So when we are hearing this and the president is not talking, and the state president is not talking, these are the member and the speaker is not talking, and the alternative said that keeping quiet. Are you the person that's supposed to talk? Is the president that's supposed to talk? Call everybody to order. Let us forge ahead. I don't want trouble.
Look, I think the point he's trying to make here is that, I mean, I can understand where the Honourable is coming from, not wanting to glorify this issue, but I also understand that silence not only means consent, it also creates room for rumours. I mean, like we just said, there's a whole wide range of people that have been brought into this.
That is a new dimension. That's another dimension to the issue. Silence, meaning consent, does not amount to this in this situation. This is a political situation. This is not a courtroom situation where silence will amount to silence. For instance, like I said, like they will tell you, if you are going on a journey and focused, if you start throwing stones at every barking dog, you will lose focus. I have said there are more serious national issues, and we don't think that word executive matter, it is a major issue for us.
Even when it concerns the national chairman of the party?
Excuse me, once it enters the court, that is why we are even discussing it. That is why we are even discussing it.
Yes.
Because it does appear that going to the court, like I said, I started this discussion, it amounts to taking a joke too far. That is why we are even commenting on it.
Yeah.
From now on, you are going to see a different dimension to it, which is what? To invoke the necessary disciplinary actions enshrined in Section 21 of our Constitution. And secondly, to ensure that the president is not offering himself to be dropped as a name in this entire exercise. Because we cannot imagine that the reward for bringing a government is embarrassment. It will be the second time we do that. Adams Ushimole got the president in, and the first thing they were doing to him after 2 months was how to take him out through this embarrassing situation. Today again, Ganduje, if all of you who knew, knows how he came to this point, the rest of us will now be feeling that there is no need to be loyal and there is no need to be committed. It will be sending a wrong signal. And I do not think that this president, by his antecedents and pedigree, has demonstrated that he's an ungrateful person.
So this doesn't unsettle APC at all? This incident does not unsettle APC and its working mechanism at all when its national chairman, is in the view of...
Let me ask you, what we ought to do and what we should be doing. For instance, facing Ondo and Edo. That is our immediate problem as party. The governance part of it is there. It is also part of the duties of the party to ensure that its manifesto is implemented by those in government. That is on the one side, like oversight function for the National Assembly. But on the political field, we are today facing Ondo and Edo, and everything is going on smoothly. You can see we are even having some challenges in Ondo as we speak. It is a party's focus to stay there and retain Ondo. But to say that the national chairman, because he's being affected now, the president, so it is when it is beyond the party, beyond the structures of the party and the organized party, that the president...
Maxwell seems to disagree.
Yes. See, before I go into what the ones I believe that affects all of us, you see, this...
Can you do that in a minute? Because we have to round up.
You will not be able to go into things.
Okay. This particular issue, that particular time, if there is any time, the time the president is supposed to come in is when there is a subsisting court order. In fact, there are some limits APC can go now and discipline all those people because the matter is in court and the matter has not been determined. So their hands are tied. So if there is a time the president is supposed to come to ask lawyer, come, go and withdraw this matter, I don't want to hear that thing again, is now. Then secondly, on the issue, please, NJC.
And finally.
Yeah, finally. The NJC should call judges to order. They are causing trouble. Some judges are causing trouble. They want to set this court on fire. And earlier they said that you don't talk about the judge. No, this is the time we talk about them. Because most of them are misbehaving. Nobody can just bring anything for you. Motion ex parte. There is no urgency. Because the key point in granting motion ex parte is the urgency. Where is the urgency of it? And you are granting order here and there, causing trouble. We will hold any judge that cause trouble. If your order cause trouble in this country, we are going to hold you responsible for that. That is my pattern word.
Okay, I guess we'll just have to leave it like that for now. But before we do that, let's take your parting shot, Honourable.
I agree that APC using the national chairman is in trouble. But the way to resolve it now, having gotten to the court, is to back down. And that is to say the leadership of the party. We have the national caucus, we have the president as leader, must now come in and stop the distraction and embarrassment that winning an election and running a government of this magnitude cannot be subjected to the vagaries and pranks of urchins on the streets of Ganduje ward in Kano State. This country is bigger than that. And for the judges, NJC must rise to sanction people and let everybody now know that for every crime there is a punishment.
And then for the party itself, because
Yeah, the politicians.
I still feel that a huge responsibility still rests with the party.
I have said
to
the party leadership and the president, in this case, president now as president of Nigeria, because Kano on fire is like south going on fire. Because Kano is to the north and Nigeria, what Port Harcourt and Lagos are to the rest of us.
And he needs them.
So he needs to act now.
Absolutely.
He needs to act now because we are going beyond the point. Initially, we thought it would end there with the last court order, but with the present situation in which more people are imagined to cause more crisis, even Kwankwaso, who wants to come to APC, the two of them, Kwankwaso and Ganduje in APC, boosts Kanu and settles the matter of Kanu and where it belongs.
Maybe
to.
the new Exco may even rush to court now to go and get another
order. And the same court in
And
Kanu.
it becomes a never-ending saga.
So
well,
they're just
we have to just...
I guess you're right. When we refer to this thing as a comedy of some sort, there's probably some
Comedy of
truth in all
errors.
that. Really.
Yes.
All right, we have to leave it at that, gentlemen. I'm sure that perhaps in the, like you said, Maxwell, in the forthcoming days, there may be a new dimension to it. But like for your sake, Honorable Clayton, that the party finds a way to wade in on this matter and let the right thing be done. I mean, we've seen a never-ending case of party chairmanship suspension. 2023 it was the UHRU suspended by the local government, and then he went to court. I think he just called it off just because of the neck and, you know, all of that merry-go-round. But thank you, gentlemen, Honorable Clayton and Maxwell Okpara, Esquire. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks very much
show.
for coming on the program.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.